Week 8 in the NFL, baby. Man, special players, special teams, special everything you need, special miracles for a lot of these NFL teams. The Saints has no team at all, offense or defense. 49ers is banged up. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, DJ Metcalf, Jaden Daniels, everybody. Man, what is going on around the league with these injuries?
Man, everything you said pretty much, man. The Saints are the banged up. To me, honestly, they've been the most banged up team in the league for the past few weeks, from offense to defense. And literally half the team I don't even recognize. Like I don't even know who these guys are, man. They just put in second streamers, third streamers. I feel like they just signed somebody who worked for FedEx, post office. Like, bro, literally my supervisor the other day told me he was gonna try out for the Saints wide receiver position just because he heard they've been doing practice camps for them and practice squads for them. So I don't know, man. It's definitely gonna take a lot of breakout players this week for something to happen because as you said, these teams are already minimalized and they're down a lot of players.
Yeah, man. The Saints, bro. The Aints at this point. I hate to say it, coming from a
Yeah,
long time Saints fan, bro. That's hard to say. I think this is probably the worst we have looked in the past 8 to 9 years. And I believe that so because the fans start to bring out the brown paper bags. And when the bags come out, the season is wrapped. Like you
bro.
can't when the fans give up on the season, it's over.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, Saints fans holding up signs talking about, "Oh, our season's over." They didn't even have any hope, especially against the Denver Broncos game. All I saw was the dude already wrote the record 2-5 before the game was even over. He wrote 2-5 probably when the game started, and he already was like, "Oh yeah, this ain't our year." But yeah, the Saints, the Chiefs, man, the Seahawks now with DK Metcalf, they're not like the most banged up team, but the Buccaneers losing that duo, man, that's a
Yeah.
huge loss for NFC South in general. They're taking
Man,
some hits.
yeah, speaking of huge losses, man, with the game of the week, the Washington Commanders versus Chicago Bears. Jaden Daniels is still questionable. With that being said, who do you think having it? Who do you think is going to win that matchup?
I do feel like the Bears are going to win that matchup, whether Jay Daniels is healthy or not. In my opinion,
Ooh.
they have one of the top five defenses in the league. Kind of reminds me of the defense they had about a decade ago. Maybe it wasn't that long ago, but whenever they had Khalil Mack leading the way, and they had like a 12-4 record to close out the season, their identity was defense. Not saying the Bears' true identity this season is defense, but it's definitely a huge part of what they are, from their run defense to their pass defense. They don't give up a lot of touchdowns at all, and they haven't all season. And that's really been helping the rookie out when it comes to making the offense run a little bit easier, to know that you have a solid defense to back you up.
Yeah, absolutely. But I agree with everything you said. But when you said if Jaden Daniels is going to play, the Chicago Bears is going to win anyway, right? Granted, the
Yep.
rules so far he has not been ruled out as of yet, but I do think there's a little skeptical of that. Jaden Daniels didn't practice all week, and you think you're just going to come walk right in there and just completely dominate? Absolutely not. As you've been seeing, Caleb Williams had a slow start to the season, but he has been heating up like Papa Bear's porch, and I think he's ready, baby. The Bears have a solid DeAndre Swift been heating up. Cole
Oh
Kmet
yeah.
been heating up 3 touchdowns as
Yeah.
Cole Kmet. Oh my lord, been heating up. Defense looked great, but I do want to say if Marcus Mariota, first of all, I'm not trusting no white guy named Marcus to start this just to start this off. I'm not, Marcus Mariota looked good against the Panthers. Against the Panthers, bro. Against the let's not he looked great against the Panthers. And you think you're gonna Marcus Mariota, the man that we thought wasn't even in the NFL no more, is gonna come and lead the Commanders to electrifying win against the Chicago Bears? Absolutely not. Exactly what you said. Chicago Bears have great defense. I feel like their offense has been clicking a little bit more.
Yep.
But I do think if Jaden Daniels miraculously do play on Sunday, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference just because I think he has a little rust to knock off, and I don't think he's. I'm not going to shy from the fact that he's still a rookie QB in NFL. Yes, it's two rookies going against each other, but the Chicago Bears defense is not a rookie.
Yeah, man. The Bears are stacked all around. As you said, DeAndre Swift, man, he's been good for their passing game and the rushing game. Honestly, I haven't looked at it, but DeAndre Swift probably like that third leading receiver on the team. If you think about it, like he's had a lot of those deep ball catches,
Yeah.
which is unusual for a running back. I've noticed that in a couple games, this man has been catching like 30, 40-yard uh, catches, making big plays throughout the games. One game I remember it was like against the Indianapolis Colts. He had like some kind of 40-yard reception, which was nice. And
Yeah.
that really helped out Caleb Williams a lot to have that. Even though you do have like a Keenan Allen who was off to a slow start, you have somebody who's like a DeAndre Swift who can get out of his position and instead of being in the backfield all the time, he can, give you a 20, 30-yard reception and help you out there. I do feel like they've gotten more comfortable, the Bears offense that is, and Caleb Williams has been able to scan the field, use his eyes, left, right, one, two, three. Opposite Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, everybody looks for 1 second and he get rattled, as you say. His name, Spencer Rattler, he just throw the ball away or run the ball. Now, Caleb Williams has been looking more confident over the last few games, especially, and being able to scan the field with his eyes. And I think he'll be able to do that against his Commanders defense this game, and the Bears can win
Yeah,
by at least a
absolutely. So
touchdown.
you
I
think it's
see.
gonna be a close game or is it gonna be a straight blowout without Marcus Mariota? If Marcus Mariota, well, what Marcus Mariota playing? Do you think it would be a close game? Yes or no?
If Marcus Mariota plays, I think the Bears can win by. I'll give the Bears winning by 10.
10? Sheesh.
10. Yeah, I know it's big because the Commanders have been high, but yeah, I am confident on the Bears. I am really confident with them, and I think they've been coached pretty well, especially considering like most of their team has been new pieces, especially their offense. Like Keenan Allen's been new.
Yeah,
DJ Moore's
he
been
is
there for a
back.
little
Came back
while.
looking great too.
Yeah, man, he looked great last game, man. He reminds you who Keenan Allen was with them 2 touchdown catches.
Yeah.
So yeah, them and that rookie the from Washington, Dunze, I think like they have a lot of weapons and most of their offense is new, but it hasn't really mattered. A 4-2 record, chance to make it 5-2. I think they got a shot. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely, man. Like I said, what Justin Jaden Daniels, without Jaden Daniels, I'm taking the Bears all the way. What are the key matchups that you think is going to be electrifying this weekend?
The Colts Texans one will definitely be a key one. That is a
Woo!
big uh, AFC South division matchup. I believe the Colts barely lost against the Texans at home by 2. I think the Texans just beat them by 2. Texans were on the road. Colts were at home. That was Anthony Richardson's first game after that injury, and he looked pretty good. But honestly, Anthony Richardson has been like up and down this season. I don't have the fullest confidence in him. So with that one, I am picking the Houston Texans to go ahead and take that win after the close loss against Green Bay. Houston Texans have been able to beat all of the mediocre to bad teams this season. The only 2 losses that they had was against the Packers and the Vikings, which are the 2 top NFC North teams. And you could say 2 of the top 5 teams in the NFL.
So let me ask you a question. So if the Colts decide to go with Joe Flacco, let's say they're losing and they come back and say Anthony Richards, your bench, buddy. We putting Joe Flacco in here. What you think? Like, you still think he's going to be a great one, or you think, oh, Joe gonna get it done?
Man, that's a good one. I'll still say I have more confidence with the Texans just because they're at home. And CJ Stroud has been great at home. I feel like he's
Great. I
definitely
could
going to
tell
bounce back.
Last week,
Yeah,
ain't nothing look great about him at all.
I don't remember if he played. I don't remember. Yeah, he didn't look great at all. I think he played on the road though, but
Oh,
at
it was the
home,
road game?
I'm pretty sure it was on the road game in Green Bay. But yeah, he's had like a 103 passer rating at home, 9 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. I think that he'll definitely bounce back from that last game and really like throw 300 yards. I didn't generally wouldn't be surprised if CJ Stroud throws over 300 yards this game and like 2 touchdown passes. And they could. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like a big blowout, but I think the Texans can win by a touchdown, 7 points.
Okay, let's go. All right, man. That's interesting, man. I do think Joe does deserve to start. Anthony Richardson is not it, in my opinion. They do have Indiana Colts do have a 4-3 record. I do think if they don't make some necessary changes in the offensive things in nature with some and really open up that playbook, their record is gonna go to losing record really fast, and they're not gonna keep that. Well, I would say they could keep that second spot of the division because Tennessee Titans 1-5, Jacksonville Jaguars 2-5. Ain't really too much competition in that division.
No, that's right, man. One player that has been a little disappointed on the Colts, I think, is Michael Pittman, who's supposed to be their best receiver on the team. He hasn't really showed up to what people said he was supposed to be about a year or two ago. Now,
Yeah.
one person on the Texans, man, Joe Mixon, I know Cincinnati missed him a lot. I know Cincinnati missed him a lot, bro. Behind now, of course, excluding injury, but I think behind Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, whenever Joe Mixon was healthy, he's been like probably the third most dominated running back. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but Joe Mixon has like I don't think he's had like one bad game. And the Colts have, I think, the second to last rush defense, other than the hapless Carolina Panthers. They just suck.
I mean, yeah, bro. It's definitely a tough one. But since we were kind of mentioning up to talking about divisions, I think the AFC North division is heating up real big. If you ask me, man, that division is heating up. I mean, you got number one Ravens leading that number one
Yeah.
spot. Close behind them is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Third, it's the Bengals. Then fourth, it's the Browns. All right, the Baltimore Ravens is at 2-5. Pittsburgh Steelers is at. I mean, Baltimore Ravens is at 5-2. Pittsburgh
I'm gonna
Steelers is
say, good lord,
at 5.
when they
At
lost 5 games.
5-2. Bengals is at 3-4, and of course the sorry Browns is at 1-6. The Browns don't count in this conversation, if you ask me.
Hell
But
no.
we got the Bengals, the Pittsburgh, and the Steelers. Man, who you think is going to clinch that division?
Ravens for sure, no doubt about it. I bet my money on it. I ain't gonna say how much money. All right, I guess I ain't 100% confident, but I'm like 95% sure Baltimore Ravens will definitely take that. They just seem like an all-around team. They definitely got it this year. Man, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson just look unstoppable. They just look like they have a clear number one. Now, number two is up in the air, in my opinion.
See, and here's why. Granted, everyone knows I'm a diehard Saints fan first, but when the sun come down, I take off that black and gold, and I'll put on that purple. You already know I'm a diehard Ravens fan at the end of the day as well. But
Yeah, the sun been down for a while. The Earth need to rotate, bro. The sun been down, bro. The Earth need to fucking rotate for them.
man,
Man.
but that's a good one. I ain't gonna lie. But I feel like the Baltimore Ravens have to fix some flaws on defense, and which I don't understand because Marlon Humphrey's been coming up great. They're ranked top 10 defenses in NFL with their power rankings, but yet they defense cannot close out games to save their life. They cannot close it out. So when it really comes down to that playoff win or something like that, or see who's going to go, they might sell it because the offense look great. Offense come out there and damn near score every drive. You ask me, either Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. You see what he did Monday Night Football, 5 touchdowns passing, baby. The person they said can't pass. I'm sorry, I gotta.
And I said, all right. I said it. I said it. I don't know too. I'm a man. I said it.
But yeah, man, I'm just saying, I think they can't close out games. And much as I hate to say that Russell Wilson came back and looked great last week, I hate to say it because I wanted him to do so bad. I was praying on Russell Wilson's downfall so much because I wanted Justin Fields to remain at QB1 so bad, but it didn't happen.
Me too.
But they're at 5-2. They do have a great defense. Their offense is okay. I would say it's not the best, but it's not the worst as well. Do you think the Steelers have a chance of coming in and stealing that division win against Baltimore?
I don't think they have a chance to catch Baltimore and get that first place spot. I do think they can catch Cincinnati though, just by the way they looked. Najee Harris has looked the best in my opinion.
Absolutely,
he has all career. Like now, they haven't even been really playing Warren much. The reason why they've been playing Warren the last 2-3 seasons, their backup running back Jalen Warren, is because Najee Harris wasn't really consistent all the time. But with Najee Harris playing like this, they don't even have the need to really play Warren. And I feel like Pickens is evolving, especially. I mean, the way he looks with Russell Wilson.
Pickens has been stepping up to that plate.
Yeah, he's the clear wide receiver one, definitely. And just their coaching, Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid, they're like the top coaches in the NFL, and they're like well coached, well disciplined team. Like if that's a team that has discipline, it's the Steelers. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And I'm not gonna lie to you. Just once again, Mike, I was so disappointed at you when you announced Russell Wilson. I'm just gonna let you know I made a video about it and everything, bashing Mike, and I just couldn't understand why this man gave y'all this great record. Started y'all off hot, only lost one game under the belt, but was not playing phenomenal, but was playing good ball from a team. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like Justin Fields was playing good, and he should have at least had the chance to lose as a starting QB before you replace him with Russell Wilson. But
yeah, because
hey,
Russell
he
Wilson
an
could have
NFL
very
coach.
well had.
He knows more than I know. So hey,
Yeah, he's the genius after all. Russell Wilson could have very well had a bad game, and then we would have just been shitting on Mike and be like, "Hey, you should have kept Justin Fields. We told you." But nah, they're gonna let him get a second chance at it. Russell Wilson, that is.
yeah, and then also I know a lot of people don't think about it, but I just want to put this on everybody's radar. 2021, the Bengals had an unbelievable run. They went, don't quote me on this. I think it was 9 straight wins to make it to the playoffs. I mean, make it to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, make it to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right? And right now, the Cincinnati Bengals is on a 3-game winning streak. Bro, do you think the Cincinnati Bengals have a chance not to sweep the number 2 spot, but come for that number 1 spot in the AFC North Division?
I don't think they really have a chance. Only because I'm looking at their schedule, and it just doesn't look the easiest schedule. I know they play the Denver Broncos. That's a team I start off with. That's funny. The Denver Broncos, which their defense has been better. Sean Payton's a great mastermind. I think he made a video on it like earlier this week about how he's the GOAT. This man's literally beat like all 32
All
NFL
32
teams.
teams, baby. All 32. That man need another ring.
Yeah, that's so crazy. But I mean, they're going against the Steelers, like we just talked about. They're tough. They're a tough matchup. That's going to be a tough divisional matchup. Uh, I'm not sure if they play Baltimore again, but I know they play like the Cowboys and they play the Titans, which are a good defensive team,
Yeah.
and the Chargers. So it's a lot of those teams. You're like, will the Bengals win or will they not? But yeah, I just can't see them stopping the Ravens. I understand what you're saying about the Ravens defense been uh messing up, especially late, and they get too comfortable. But I just feel like overall, the Ravens already have a good lead, being 5-2, and I just don't think they'll just collapse like that.
Okay. Speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals, they are having a great, well, they do have a big home game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, what do you think in that matchup? Who do you think gonna get the dub? Hey, because I'm gonna let you know, I'm putting it on the floor right now. I'm putting it on the floor right now. Right?
Uh,
That one, that Jalen Hurts would throw an interception. That's for one.
all right. Yeah, really hot take there.
All
Really
right.
hot take there, man. Wow, I'm
Hey,
so surprised.
he gonna get one against the Bengals, right? He gonna throw one against the Bengals. Number 2, that I think the game it'll be a close game, but I feel like the Joe Burrow been having such a great connection with their wide receivers. Every wide receiver's been getting a touchdown. He's been handing out touchdowns like Oprah Winfrey hand out cards. And I'm telling you, bro, he's been handing them out week after week after week to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Everyone been getting a touchdown, bro. Everyone, right? And I feel like this, that if Philadelphia Eagles come in there thinking that they're going to win the game with Saquon Barkley running the ball. Yes, he looked great last week, but let's also forget it was against New York Giants. So I don't want to hear it. I hate to say it, that you can't. I'm not discrediting Saquon Barkley because he got that dog in him. We all know that. But don't just, he came off last week with 176 rushing yards off of 19 attempts and a 2 touch. I don't want to hear that. That was against the Giants, right? Yeah. When has Saquon Barkley done that this season against a good team? Not saying the Bengals are a great team at all, but they're a lot better than New York Giants. And I don't think, if the Philadelphia Eagles just going to rely on Saquon Barkley running game, Jalen Hurts have to throw over 200 passing yards. He can't get away for only throwing 154 pass yards, and most of his yards going to A.J. Brown. That's just not going to happen, if you ask me. So if the Cincinnati Bengals can contain, not stop, but contain Saquon Barkley running to a minimum, right? Not saying he's not gonna get his yards.
Hmm.
I still think Saquon Barkley gonna run for 50, 60 yards, right? And do what Saquon Barkley does. But I don't think he's gonna put up 100 plus rush yards against the Bengals. And it's gonna force I just feel like it has a lot more factors that the uh Philadelphia Eagles need to do in order to get the win
Hmm.
versus the Bengals. If you ask me, I think the Bengals are on a hot streak and they playing at home and they looking for their first home win of the season. But what do you
No,
think?
yeah, great point. Yeah, that's why I was struggling to pick the Bengals or not pick the Bengals, I should say, because the Bengals have won a home game, as you just said. And to me, I feel like that's got to come to an end, and this is a good matchup to where okay, you have a chance to do that. Now, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, those are some great points. Like he has been connecting with his receivers, literally handing them the ball like Elon Musk hand out cash. Like dude just been handing the ball left and right to T. Higgins. We remember who he is now. I mean, he's been kind of ghost, you know what I'm saying, off and on. I think that was from injuries. And then Jamar Chase has looked great, like the old Jamar Chase that we know of. And their running game, they started to say they're starting to use Chase Brown. And that's the guy who I think was going to take Zach Mott's spot. Chase Brown, he's looking like the RB1 now. And not saying he's a Joe Mixon, but he's a good enough running back to make them a good team. And yeah, man, it's a tough one, but I think the reason why I'm going to pick the Eagles is because I do think Saquon Barkley is going to run 100 plus rushing yards.
Woo!
I do think Saquon Barkley's going to run 100 plus rushing yards, and I think that the Bengals defense isn't the best, and we may see that this weekend. If he runs 100 plus rush yards, then we're going to be exposed to the Bengals run defense and why they've been why that's been a big weakness to them in the season. That's why they lost like a lot of those earlier games in the season was because they've allowed like points left and right, like Washington Commanders, for example.
Yeah.
Man, that defense was horrible, and a lot of that was from the run game. And I just think that Saquon's going to expose it.
So let me ask you another question, right? If Saquon is running the ball, right? Saquon doing thing, do you think they can get the win off of Saquon running alone?
No, no, because eventually you're going to predict and be like, he's running. So you're going to be. You can't just be predictable, right? Like Jalen Hurts has got to throw the ball. I do think that he had a good game with his receivers last week with AJ Brown and
That's the only receiver he had, AJ Brown. You take AJ Brown out the equation, that's it. AJ Brown had 89 passing yards off of what? 6 receptions? Everybody else can get the ball. Everything else is dump ball passes. That's it. He ain't had
they had
nothing.
they had Devontae Smith too.
Man, Devontae Smith was doing things, but he wasn't doing enough if you ask me.
Okay, okay, I got you. Well, yeah, like if they can't get anything on the run, then yeah, or if they're only running the ball, if the Eagles are only running the ball, then yeah, that's tough for the Eagles. Like they're gonna have to throw the ball at some point because they just can't be predictable like that. You can't be one dimensional and expect to win the football games. But yeah, I just think the matchup wise, the Bengals don't really run well or run defend well, and the Eagles run a lot, and that's been able to win them games. Even if AJ Brown and Devontae Smith aren't having their best game. I mean, AJ Brown was out for what 3 or 4 weeks, and they still been able to run the ball and win some games.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. Final score prediction.
Final score prediction? Oh man, dang, that's close. Uh, 24-27 Eagles.
I see that. I see that. I think it'll be within
Close.
three. I was thinking
Oh yeah.
24, so you're not too far off. I think it come down to a field goal. Jalen Hurts, messing up the game with a pick six or something like that. But since we run out of time, let's move on to the NFC North division. Another fire hot division, baby. You got Detroit sitting in number one. You got the Vikings sitting in number two. Green Bay at three, and the Bears at four. Man, how do you think that division is going to end out? Do you think Detroit is going to keep the number one
I
spot?
don't even know. I don't even know, man. This is I don't know. Ever since I've been watching NFL football, this has definitely been the most competitive I think division there has been after watching like 10 years plus of football. This has been like really really good division where it looks like all four teams can get in. But man, I do think the Detroit Lions are going to hold the number one spot,
Ooh.
especially the fact that they should have went to the Super Bowl last season. Should have, could have, would have. They didn't do it, but I feel like they're upset about that, and they're going to prove a point to take the top of the division and stick to their identity. That's one thing that I feel like they have over all the other teams. The Detroit Lions run, run, run. Have the two best running backs in
Ayers and
the
Montgomery.
yeah. The best duo running back by far in the league. I can't say the Vikings have like a true identity, like pound, 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 or whatever, or like the Packers, like they have like three or four receivers you can throw it to. Uh, Jay Love has thrown like a bunch of picks this season so far, and then the Bears, we're still trying to be certain are if they're legit or not. But right now they do look pretty legit. But what's your prediction? Do you think the Lions are going to hold that top spot?
Absolutely not. And here's why. Because I
Oh,
told you earlier, and you called me cuckoo for Cocoa Puff, the Lulu, everything. Like this, the man said you was on them drugs and all this. Because I said Detroit Lions is going to lose this week against the Tennessee Titans. And if the Vikings can get their win this week, they move up that to the number one spot. And I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now. Last week, I called four of the I just said I would like to say I called 4 out of 5, but it was really 3 out of the 5. The only ones
fucking Garrett Wilson.
huh?
Fucking Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, what was the Jets because Garrett Wilson sold the game. Then of course I thought the Saints was not gonna go lose 5 straight games in a row, but Spencer Rattler got rattled. He got his ass handed to him, and it didn't stand a chance. But everything else, man, if you watch that video, you see my tickets that I placed. I call all the upsets, all of them. Besides that one, those two. But I think this is gonna be the upset game of the week, man. If you ask me, it's gonna be the biggest upset. Hey, the 1-6 Tennessee Titans about to get their second win of the season, baby. Because I'm telling you, they're gonna get it. Hey, don't ask me how. Just know they did, and they're gonna get it done. So I think Detroit Lions lose their number one spot this week, even though they've been looking red hot. I just think, even though D Hop is leaving, I think that's what most people gonna hop in these comments and say, even without DeAndre Hopkins, oh my lord, he's like, hey, hey, I don't know how they're gonna do it. They might do it. If they don't do it, I did see the spread that you mentioned earlier that they gave them a 10-point spread. If they don't win
large.
money line, they're gonna cover that 10-point spread. If you ask me, this spread look a little all too familiar. Remember week 1 with the Bengals versus New England Patriots? 10.5-point spread. Come on, man. The Bengals about to open up that can of whoop ass. Who they? They say in Cincinnati, huh? Who they? But the New England Patriots showed them who they was. But that's just my opinion. And I do think also in the division, the Bears do move up to the 3rd spot. I don't think they clinch it, but I do think that it's kind of tough. I do think Sam Darnold kind of cool off some way, somehow, and the Vikings drop down to the 3, and the Bears move up. I don't know. That's tough because that division is whoo.
That's so couple questions for you. So if the Lions lost that close game against the Vikings last week, would you have picked the Lions to win this week against the Titans if they lost last week?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I don't think Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell, they too good to lose 2 games in a row.
Back to back. Do you think this would be like a situation where, like, okay, they might lose this game because they may get too complacent and have their minds just too eased, like they don't need
high horses. They don't need high horses. They come out there and put a ass whip on them Dallas Cowgirls, those Alice's. They came right back and handed to the Vikings right after that. Come on, man. They calling themselves America's football team. They said we took the title away from Dallas and we put it around our belt and we handed out that American ass whip the rest of the teams. I think they just so stuck on that high horse right now. The Tennessee Titans is going to show them this is cowboy country around here, baby. Like, we boogie, we square dance, we sing music, we do it all. We're going to hand out ass whoopings, and it's going to be a shock and a wake-up call.
Man, hey, that's a huge take. I respect it though. I respect it. Even though, man, I highly disagree. I still think you on the drugs. But man, that's all right. I guess you gotta throw a hot take here and man, that's the like game of the impossible to lose. Like as you said, they're 1-6. The Lions are backwards. They like 6-1.
I
But
mean, hey, just like this, bro. I don't think the Tennessee Titans they gonna get. Like I said, Tennessee Titans gonna get 4 wins this season. It's like when Carolina Panthers get their next win is gonna be against a good team. I hate to say it, the Carolina Panthers get 2 wins this season. And like I said, it's kind of hard to believe that Tennessee Titans at the bottom of the barrel, along with the New England Patriots, the Carolina Panthers, the Cleveland Browns, and I'm not sure how many wins the New York Giants have at the moment as well.
okay, last question. Who's your number one team in the NFC North that you got? Green Bay? You
Number
said the
one
Bears
team,
might move up two. Yeah, number one team. Who you think is gonna win division by the end of the season?
I still give it to the Detroit. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, you would give it to Detroit.
I
Okay.
think they're going to move down next week, but I think overall Detroit is going to win it
Oh,
overall. Yeah.
okay. After this week, they moved down, but overall, Detroit. Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. We're
I
on the
mean,
same page.
they just too good. I think they could go to Super Bowl if you ask me. What about you?
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. No doubt, bro. Like they got that true identity, and alongside two great receivers, and a solid quarterback who's already. I think he's already been to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff, am I tripping? Like his first or second year, did he go to the Super Bowl?
I can't remember. I think I just remember the Rams dropped him because they say he's not it, and he went over there to the
Okay.
Lions, man.
I got you. I
I
got you.
can't remember that one, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, they're great coaching too, and really disciplined. I feel like their defense has weaknesses, but I feel like their offense is just too great to where like even if you have like a weakness, vulnerability defensively, the offense is just too great. Can't overcome it.
Yeah, right. Like I said, man, my Super Bowl prediction, Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. That's what I got. I know we got less than a minute. So the only thing I want to say is, man, make sure you hit this like button, hit this subscribe button, dropping episodes every single Thursday, along with my weekly NFL predictions. So make sure you lock in, hit that subscribe button.
All right, man. One last question for you.
What's up?
Who do you have as the breakout player for this week with all the injuries that we talked about in the beginning?
Jeez, that's a tough one. Let me stop lying. Because the person that got injured so early on making a debut comeback, Tua Tagovailoa, the heart, the soul of the Miami Dolphins offense. Man, so with that being said, give me Tyreek Hill, baby. The man is so sick and tired of not having more than 17 yards a game. The man had 8 yards last game. Between him, Waddle, and all the receivers for the last 5 games, only had less than 70 yards combined. Do you know how bad that is? Just imagine you had Tyreek Hill on your fantasy. So with that being said, bro, give me Tyreek Hill to have a breakout game, bro. And everybody gonna say, "Oh, Tua gonna come back. He gonna be a little slow. He could be a little whatever." He getting that ball to Tyreek Hill. I can tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, he gonna get the ball to Tyreek Hill, man. And you were talking about fantasy. I bet you a lot of people were benching Tyreek Hill after having 5, 6 games